So this is the latest standard. We are using this. Of course, it's been using worldwide, and it serves as basic requirement for halal food product and food trade. Can you see the slide? Halal key requirement. Yeah, this is very important to understand about these requirements, because this is especially we designed this presentation for partial halal kitchen. If fully halal kitchen, things will be very easy than partial halal. Fully halal, yeah, you don't have to do any segregation, you don't need any labeling and so on, because all are halal. But let me go one by one. See here, the ingredient, the compliance area. You have many compliance area, over 20 compliance area that you have to follow, to comply with. So we divide into two. We call it basic halal compliance. This is the minimum requirement, okay, in order to do halal business. And also, the other one is better, the maximum requirement, the preferred level, we call it the preferred halal compliance. Okay, this is under basic or minimum. We call it must have. Under preferred halal compliance, nice to have. Okay, you have all these under preferred halal compliance. Good, you score extra points. We consider excellent. But if you have basic or minimum, yeah, we call it you meet the standard. Okay. Now I will talk one by one. From ingredient, talking about halal certification, receiving area, delivery, and so on. I will go one by one. If there is any question again, I would like to welcome you, and please do not hesitate. Raise your hand and ask. Okay. All right. Now we'll go to talking about ingredient. Number one, under compliance area. I show you pictures. Okay. Ingredient. This under compliance area. Number one. So basic requirement or preferred level, of course, when you talk about ingredient, it's all ingredient used in cooking for halal must be halal. Very straightforward. No minimum, only half halal. No, chicken must be halal, beef, lamb, mutton must be halal, all the spices, everything must be halal, not intoxicating, not hazardous, not poisonous. Okay, all right. This is straightforward. Next, about certificate. Remember earlier I told you earlier on, halal certification of ingredient, especially raw material. So each delivery of ingredient at risk, we call it high risk items, such as meat, poultry, and its derivative and byproduct. Can be chicken, beef, lamb, mutton, can be chicken nugget or beef sausage. This is a byproduct or must be certified halal. Of course, I need to be certified halal by the certification body or by the competent Muslim authority. Okay, even such as gelatin, if animal gelatin, beef gelatin, and so on, must have halal certificate, because from halal animal. Even in Australia, because they produce a lot of halal cheese, yeah, they put halal. They export worldwide. Australia, New Zealand. Okay, now talking about receiving area, it divides into three: dry store, cold, dry store, freezer, and chiller. So, good receiving area, you have to check the quality, the quantity, and so on. The quality check, you have to, of course, make sure it is properly segregated during receiving and storage at the dedicated area. Dry store, freezer, and chill item. Okay. Delivery and transport. Okay. Raw material, all raw material, raw halal product must be physically separated from non-halal product at all time during delivery. Okay, raw material product must be physically separated. Okay, during receiving at the receiving area and stored at the dedicated area. Dry store, freezer, and chiller. Okay, meat, poultry product physically separated. You cannot, avoid any possibility of cross-contamination and mistake. So, by practicing this physically separated, from halal and non-halal. Scale waving machine, yeah, you have minimum, the basic. Of course, halal product weighed separately from other product on shared waving machine. This is a minimum. If you don't have dedicated machine, still okay, you allow at separate time. You need to have time schedule for the halal product receiving, arriving of the halal product at your what do you call it, reception center, with proper segregation, time separate with proper segregation to avoid any possibility of cross contamination. Okay, but this is preferred level, preferred halal compliant, dedicated halal waving machine and scale, dedicated only for halal. But this one, because we allow in general, waving machine is a big waving machine. In general, you don't put the food item raw material direct contact on the waving machine. It is in the box, packed in the boxes, covered with plastic, and put on top this pallet, the wooden pallet or plastic pallet, and then only you wait. Doesn't cause any cross contamination also. That's why we allow, but still need to have a separate time, during waving at the machine or the scale. You need to have a time scheduling of receiving halal, because to avoid any mistake or even cross contamination. Sealing packing, yeah, must be properly packed and sealed for hygiene reason, not only for halal but for hygiene and safety, to prevent cross contamination. Storage media, such as the halal product must be stored in dedicated area, halal only area. Storage media such as trolley, bins, boxes, container, and so on. As you can see on this slide, in the picture, need to be stored separately from non-halal. Why? To avoid cross contamination. Okay, physically separated area within shared freezer or chiller. If you have one big chiller or freezer, if you want to store halal, no halal, it's allowed, but need to have proper physically separated. You need to physically separate it. You need to have a proper corner for halal. You cannot have, like in this picture, you see beef and pork, they put on one trolley nearby. This is possibility of cross contamination. Okay, will happen. So need to separate, segregate. Even though shared freezer or chiller, but they need to have a dedicated area for halal, for example. They need to dedicated halal product at one area. These are the picture example. See, some they preferred level, they have halal dry store, halal freezer, halal chiller. They have dedicated. Okay, for example, yeah, dedicated freezer and chiller, dedicated only halal product being stored here. Okay, this is better, preferred level. This is shared area, but they have a storage area for halal. They dedicated only for halal at one area, one corner. They call it halal corner. Dedicated area for halal. Even warehouse, dry store, same. Some unit or kitchen we saw, they have dedicated area only for non-halal, because they have 80% halal. 20% of their product raw material are non-halal, so they have 20% area they label and they stored separately. Things contain any pork item or even alcohol, they separate. Signage labeling, remember, all halal ingredient and halal only utensils, storage and equipment must be clearly and permanently labeled halal. This is strongly advisable to use. The green color is advisable. Green color advisable. This is labeling, signage are very important. This is mandatory for partial halal kitchen. If you have total halal kitchen, you don't need all this signage, because it's total halal. Like in Malaysia, in Brunei, like in Indonesia catering, they are total halal, so no issue of labeling all this. But for partial kitchen, you need to have proper labeling and signage for halal, areas or equipment and so on. For non-halal, if you want to use a color coding, yeah, red is advisable. Now blast chiller. deep freezer or blast chiller, batch cooling. Listen, here the basic requirement: halal product, cool in shared blast chiller. Cool in shared blast chiller. Shared blast chiller. Preferred level. This is called preferred level. Dedicated blast chiller for halal. Pot wash, yeah, same. Shared pot wash. Pot wash area. Pot washing machine that is thoroughly cleansed with approved detergent and run with fresh stream of water before washing each batch of halal kitchen equipment. Same as ware wash, where you clean the cart, the equipment, the airline equipment. But for halal, preferred level, dedicated halal only pot wash recommended. We are dedicated only for halal. But if you want to share, make sure follow the rules, the SOP, that it need to be thoroughly clean and with approved detergent. You can use Diversey, Ecolab, or applied chemical and so on, and run with fresh water, change of water before washing each batch of halal kitchen equipment. Now, hand sanitizer. Remember, we call it the hand and surface sanitizing solution. Okay, basic or minimum requirement: ethanol, alcohol-based sanitizer with proper usage and not in direct contact with food. Okay, all right, it's allowed. Hand sanitizer. Okay, preferred level, of course, halal certified sanitizer, or what do you call it, solution. Some are chlorine based or alcohol free sanitizer. This is preferred level. Okay, but if you want to use all this, it's still allowed, it's still permissible. Okay, because it is antibacterial, antibacterial, that kill agent, that kill the bacteria and germs. Okay, now I just want to pause. I'd like to ask any question from the participant. Is there any question? You can raise your hand. Yeah, Ellen. Okay, very good question. Thank you very much. Listen, when we say that, because some caterers, we have seen some, they have many chillers, freezers, and dedicated one for halal chiller, one for halal, because they have many unit on that, even blast chiller. But some caterer, they are small caterer, all right, and then they have one, of course, the size is big, one big chiller, one big freezer, and so on. They want to do halal, we allow that under basic or minimum halal compliance. So they have to have this procedure, we call it physically separated, meaning that you what do you call it, not common sense, don't put next to each other. Physically separate. Let's say freezer, they want to keep frozen chicken, beef, lamb, mutton, which are certified halal, import from Australia, New Zealand, or even from Malaysia. So they want to store in the freezer, frozen meat, frozen chicken. They can find one corner, especially one corner, at the end corner, they can put that label on the wall: halal frozen meat, halal. They can keep that. Next to this halal, they can store frozen fish, seafood. Don't put frozen meat, pork, and so on next to halal. Even though you can see, it's separate, but it's not allowed. You need to have some buffer. Possibility of cross contamination doesn't happen, or even mistake. That's what we mean. Proper segregation. If not, you put halal one corner, next you put pork, non-halal. It's not proper. Even though you segregate two trolleys or different pallets or whatever, but it's still not proper. Proper means physically separate, and then after that halal product, of course, it's very big, the room are very big, you want to store other items, make sure put something we should consider halal also, like seafood, frozen fish, frozen seafood product, and then others, like dairy, all this meat, or frozen vegetables, and so on. So the pork item, you can put, the non-halal, you can put another far end corner, so that the possibility of cross-combination pork and the halal meat doesn't happen. Okay? Is it clear? Hello. Hello. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Again, I just want to take your name. Who no, your Alan. Okay. Okay, Alan. Uh, uh, preferred. Yeah. Uh, yes. Uh, yeah. That's okay. That's a basic requirement. But this like your kitchen, if you see this Macro Asia set in-flight services, formerly Sky Kitchen, they have a halal section area where they have all these dedicated. That's why we award them certificate of excellence. You score more points if you every terms in terms of compliance area. If you follow only basic minimum, you don't get full mark. You still have received under meet the standard, but you don't score more points. You know, you know, uh, but it's still allowed. The basic or minimum halal compliant is in that category. But if you have dedicated, it's better. But if you can't, you still use that. You still will be considered meeting the standard, the minimum standard. For example, I'm showing you the picture. Can you see here? Cold or hot kitchen, for example. I have a picture here. They have a very big, you know, cold portioning area. Okay, so they have one corner far end there. You see here, label halal on the wall there. The far end there, they only do the portioning of hot and cold for halal. The rest here in the picture, yes, they can do others for other airline which are considered not halal and so on. This is what I mean by that basic requirement. Okay, for example, on the preferred level, they have this halal hot portion dedicated only for halal. They do only halal cold portioning. This is dedicated only the rooms, in the room, not in the open space or big area there. This is preferred. It's better, but the minimum also is acceptable. But you see here, they separate far and that. Not, don't put in the middle processing halal, and then left and right they are doing non-halal. No, that's not proper segregation. Okay, Alan. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Let me finish this. I want to touch on this one item here. Okay, assembly. Okay, assembly final holding room. Same. See here, this is airline equipments. Same thing. This is under airline. Of course, you don't mix all kinds of airline carts, trolleys, or what, or containers, standard unit. Mix up cannot. All airline follow according to the airlines. And of course, for halal airline, yeah, you have dedicated area, storage area at the final holding area to assembly before loading to the aircraft. So this is good. At least halal product assembled and stored separately from other product in shared holding area with proper segregation. But dedicated area, you have also dedicated area for halal only. Utensil, as you know, this is a must. Dedicated halal only utensil with identifier or color coded. For example, knife, chopping board, spoon, pot, pen, etc. Mandatory for partial halal. You need to have this dedicated utensil for that. Talking about the HACCP requirement on color coding, halal, non-halal, you cannot change the color. This is SOP standard. Standard. You can see here red for red meat, green for vegetable, and so on, for fish, for bread, and so on. Okay, chicken. You can have both the same color, but for halal you need to have some signage or labeling, or you need to differentiate between for halal use and non-halal. This is standard, normal. For halal, either you cut here, example, we show you the pictures, the difference between that. This is round, okay, and this is, you see the square, and they cut the corner. Or some, they put the ring to differentiate between the halal and non-halal. So the halal here, some they have what do you call it, a yellow stripe, yellow, blue, red, and so on, according to the HACCP color for halal. Okay. And then talking about kitchen utensil, yeah, dedicated halal utensil with identifier, mandatory for partial halal kitchen. They need to have identifier. Okay. For example, these are the pictures. Example. Okay. Some even they have holes on the tray, the pan. Okay. Preparation, cooking, and some place areas. Dedicated halal only area preparation, cooking, and some place. All right. Yeah, here you see the equipment all. This is some kitchen in overseas in Europe. It's mandatory for partial halal kitchen. You need to have signage labeling to show that it's for halal use only. Because they are partial, they prepare non-halal also. So we don't want to mix the halal equipments, even the utensil, the equipment, the cooking equipment, cross contamination with non-halal. Clean galley rotable equipment, yeah, safe. Follow the airlines accordingly. Okay. At their dedicated areas. Why? Because we want to avoid any equipment mix up, even mistake, to prevent that happen. Okay, now soil cut. About dishwashing area, the soil cuts and oven rack, for example, for cleaning. Inbound soil cuts from the airline, you offload the equipment, the food cut, the meal tray cuts, oven rack, and then you park properly until dishwashing machine is cleaned thoroughly as per halal airline dishwashing schedule. Yeah, you can use the same machine where you wash all kinds of equipment from all kinds of airline. But to wash the halal, you have to follow these SOPs. You have to have time scheduling for washing of halal airlines or halal equipment. The inbound cuts, the meal cuts, and oven rack are stored until dishwashing machine is cleaned thoroughly as per halal airline dishwash schedule. Okay, in a day you wash the machine, you clean, the change water, and so on. Once you start the new shift, you will do this process of cleaning, washing the machine, and change the water into fresh clean water. At that time you can start washing halal. Okay, if you have dedicated halal only machine, it's only used for halal airline, it's fine. It's good, it's preferred level. Okay, these are washing area. Same thing, you can have dedicated halal dishwash. Halal chef or staff, you can have halal chef is preferred, but if no nil halal chef or Muslim supervised staff, they need to be trained, they need to attend the training. It's mandatory. If we audit the kitchen staff who prepared halal don't attend training, actually consider fail, you will get the minus point. That's why hundreds of participants attended at any one time when I conduct the training, not online, offline, live training at your premises. Hundreds of participants turn up. All right, hopefully everybody have attended. Kitchen configuration, you can have halal area, shared kitchen with proper segregation. This is called partial halal kitchen, or you have dedicated area, it's a fully halal kitchen. Even now in Japan also they have, even in Europe, in France, in Germany, in London, UK, we do have a certified fully halal kitchen. It's a fully halal kitchen. So certification will be issued once they comply with all the standards and the requirement. Training, basic hygiene, you see, and halal awareness training are required. You need to have preferred, of course, HACCP and HACCP. This is halal application concept in totality training. Even Emirates, Etihad, Qatar, Saudi Arabia Airlines, we provide training to their staff under this HACCP training, halal application concept in totality. Because it's very important to ensure that the staff are trained on halal principle and its application. under the standard did mention all this. Okay, any question? Once again, Alan, anybody? Please, we go through the round the table. Oh, oh. Okay. Anybody want to ask question? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, okay. Uh-huh. It's very good question actually. I think your question is it's depend on the other. I don't want to say anything about other organization. Like you mentioned IDCP, HNIP, whatever. There you have 9 organization in Philippines to do halal. Yeah, they are all my friends. I knew them, for many years. Of course, sometimes mistake do happen. Sometimes we overlook and so on. There are few supplier we audit on behalf of other caterers in your country, Philippines, which they supply. We accept based on trust, respect, good faith. If they certified, fine, we accept. We don't ask question because we know the organization. Uh, but when we do the audit, we conduct the audit, product which been certified by the actually the kitchen, the premises, been the supplier been certified by the local, but we found a lot of serious major non-compliance. We have to make a report, and of course, this is we have to highlight. There are sometimes they overlook on for us under the standard. We consider serious and major non-compliant. They keep pork when we do audit. Of course, we mentioned about dedicated area for halal, even freezer, chiller, even the refrigerated boxes. They have that dedicated for halal. Refrigerator, mobile. You can have a big box refrigerated, written the halal with the logo and sticker of the organization which certified that. But when we opened, we saw pork inside. You know, when we did audit, this is things do happen sometimes. Uh, Again, we have to know we need check and balance. Local organization they are doing that fine, but like your organization invite the international, the what do you call it? It's better. Sometimes, no, in my house, sometimes I see everything perfect. But if I invite you to check, you will find mistake there. You find non-compliance here and there. Sometimes can happen. I overlook because I'm very complacent with what I have in my own kitchen. This is the point here. But good check and balance. You invited, foreign organization. Even just to share your question, just imagine Saudi, even Emirates, United Arab Emirates, Etihad, they are $1 million company. They can invite their local. Of course, the local came to check on food safety, hygiene. They have health inspector check them. But they invite us from Malaysia to audit their kitchen in terms of halal compliance and of course hygiene. You see, they need the third party audit. First party is mean that you do your own audit, internal audit, first party. Second party, local. Third party, the external or the international organization. This is good, for check and balance. So far, I can say I've done. I give thumbs up to your unit that you have, and that's why I certified your both kitchen based on trust, respect, and good faith. I have regarding Masbu, we talk about halal just now, the halal guideline, all the halal do's and don't, the halal raw material about animals, land animals, aquatic or plants or drink. We have given you the guidelines. All kinds of beverage are halal, as I mentioned earlier. Drinks are halal as long as they are not poisonous, intoxicating, and hazardous to health. It's very straightforward. Yeah. But if there are certain ingredient or additive which you are not sure based on the numbers, either emulsifier, they use all kinds of shortening or fat, whatever. You can refer to this book. Okay, this mushroom item, when in doubt, leave it out, check it out. Yeah, you leave it out, check it out. Okay, when in doubt, mushroom means doubt. Okay, once it is clear, halal, you can use for halal. But if it's still not clear, and you find out, of course, it's from animal origin which are not certified halal and so on, of course, you can transfer to the non-halal section. Okay, when in doubt, leave it out, check it out. But when it's not halal, of course, you leave it out. Huh? Okay, now, you can write email if you have any items in doubt. It's a doubtful item. You are not sure. Is it plant origin? Is it animal, halal animal or what? You can send us email. Once again, first and foremost, I would like to thank all the participants in groups, which you have 3 groups in 3 different rooms, and all the individual at separate location. This is very interesting. I've done something like this, normally one area. I would like to say thank you very much for your patience and attention, and hopefully we pray, God willing, we hope for the best. Okay, thank you again, thank you very much.